Hello, how's it going? Welcome to the video. You probably first time seeing my channel, it's only like 200 subs. So might as well leave a comment, like, maybe watch more. I don't know. Up to you. Anyway, we're just gonna be on some pretty simple, basic stuff about manga collecting, the do's and don'ts pretty much. I mean, that's the title of the video. I don't really like the clickbait. So video should be not too long, only around 10 minutes. So anyways, without further ado, sorry about the mic quality. I'm gonna use my phone for this, and it's not the best phone. It's kind of dinged up. So anyway, without further ado, let's get into the video. I just said without further ado. Oh well, let's get into the video. Number one, UV light. You probably hear this a bit, but sunlight, the UV light from like sunlight reflecting in to your room can like damage and make your manga yellow, which really just means, which you don't know what that is, basically just means like the pages turn yellow. That's what's called yellowing. Pretty self-explanatory, but pretty simple to stop this. Just kind of like move stuff out of the sunlight's path, put blinds and stuff, and close your windows. I mean, there's pretty simple self-explanatory ways to stop it. I mean, it's just moving stuff out of the sunlight. Sounds pretty quick. What is beeping? I just heard 2 beeps. What the? Anyway, on to the next point. Don't clutter everything. You have a collection of stuff like this, but you probably don't have it too big. Likely, because this is probably kind of meant for a bit newer people, but don't clutter everything. Make it at least somewhat easy to access. Like if you've ever been on like Pinterest, Reddit, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, just YouTube in general, wherever, have you ever seen a shelf that has like tons of figures over everything? All the volumes are just lined up like that, and you have to like move a bunch of stuff to access them. Try and stay away from that. You can add decorating and like add figures, Funko Pops, other kinds of merch. I mean, obviously you can do you, so you can clutter if you want to, but it definitely can make it a bit of a pain to access the volume each time you want. Like how Chainsaw Man here, when they release a new series, I'm definitely going to need, I'm either going to have to move all this up, which will be pretty difficult, especially since it's almost at the top of my shelf, or move all this over, which is kind of why I made it like that. Brings us on to the third one. Don't make yourself have no space. So obviously you can run out of space normally by not having any space. Like this shelf's kind of full. But then again, you can kind of make yourself run out of space by doing stuff like kind of there with the volume 1 of JJK. It's kind of turned like that, which makes it a bit more, take a bit more space. Same with Demon Slayer and all that. Takes up more space, so you can kind of artificially make your series take up more space, which can lead to stuff getting a bit more crowded, having less space to begin with. Like, how I originally had this, Kaiju number 8 was down there, near where JJK is, and if I bought one more volume, I had to reorganize the entire shelf, just add one more volume. And I kind of do if I buy anything for any of those series down there, I would have to reorganize this entire shelf a little bit. Like move stuff over one, move some volumes out. But then again, I'm kind of just at that point where I don't really want to move anything because I like how it looks, and then it's just pretty cluttered at that point. So I have this little figure right there, kind of like a stopper to keep you from falling. And I just realized I'm completely off angle. I can easily move this figure to put new volumes in. So it's like a good idea to have anticipate stuff, because Kaiju number 8, I'm pretty sure, I think it's still ongoing. But I'm gonna have a new series for this, and it's gonna change Chainsaw Man, so I can just move that figure out of the way and put the new volumes there again. Get focused with the camera a bit more, dead center on it, step away from it. I've kind of done this myself with solo leveling, because I still need to buy the other volumes, but then I would have to move all this stuff out the way. 2 easy volumes that I can move out of the way that are just kind of right there though. So that's pretty, makes things a bit easier. But anyway, if you don't keep things somewhat, you just have some space if you don't have it. Like I already had, like pretty much, like I had 2 bookshelves before I started collecting, so I had plenty of space. But now, you know, like I have this one full, pretty much filled, and this one I've already filled 3 cabinets, and I have to use that one for record storage. I kind of like to display stuff a lot, and I have like all the boxes there, which would be definitely the easiest thing to move. But then again, my closet's already pretty cluttered, so I'll probably just have to move like mine there. But stuff happens. Next up, you don't want to sample a bunch. I guess that's like a way of putting it. Basically, at first, my series, mostly somewhat complete series, like Chainsaw Man, Country Number 8, Demon Slayer, Solo Leveling, Arvata, some that don't even have extra ones like Tombs. But then you do have some series that, also there are a few that have like ones of, like, I'm not gonna try to say it, Tokyo Ghoul, Ring Your Girlfriend, Wotakoi, Goodnight Pun Pun, Berserk. But down here, we start to get into the duos, ones that I pretty much only have 2 volumes of. So something that can really make your collection look a bit weird is, especially when you don't have that many, is when you buy a bunch of volume 1s. Now I can get it, because it might be good depending on like where you are. You might not really be able to find certain series easily, because I live in not necessarily like a tiny town where everyone knows each other, but definitely not, but like around medium to small size, so I don't have that many options when it comes to buying manga. And my only options are Barnes and Noble, not Barnes, Books A Million, and a small little book section at my Walmart. So not too many options, so I tend to jump at an opportunity to buy a certain series when I find one, like Imps in the Shadow, because I don't feel like paying another subscription to Funimation to watch it. I already have one for Crunchyroll. Is that flash on? Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, the light's on. Oh well. Makes it a little better anyways. Now some series I do have a bit more of, like Elden Ring. I have 3 down there. And Ocean of Ko, there's 4. Because I did try to make this a bit more, you know, like light to dark kind of color scheme. We'll get into organization a bit more later. But try and don't just have like pretty much like a graveyard of volume 1s. If you check out the series a bit more before you buy it, like with One Piece, watch a bit of One Piece before you decide to collect the manga. I mean, it's a bunch of manga you would need to collect if you want to complete the whole series. I'm at I think there's like 110 volumes right now. So definitely gonna be a lot, and with each volume you're around 10 to 13 bucks. Especially for the more newer volumes, that would be over $1,000. So definitely wanna try to be a bit better with your spending, even though, I mean, if you're collecting something, you're probably not gonna be good with your spending either way. But that's kind of just how things are. So, as you can see a bit more back to the cluttering thing, I do have some stuff cluttering a bit, but pretty easy removable. And also, I kind of don't want to draw much attention on the bottom shelf. You'll see why in a minute. I'll show you. I mean, yeah, it's pretty obvious what those are. Those few volumes, if you saw them. But anyway, back to the bottom shelf. This is where I put, these are more of the smaller volumes, that's why they're down here, except for a few, which I moved. I moved a few up there because I had a lot more in that series. But as you can see, most of these is where a lot of my volume 1s are. I just realized how many volume series I have that I only have 1 and 2 on. But now some series, like I do plan on finishing or getting rid of most of these. Because for some series like Yuna and the Haunted Hot Spring, that series, finding volume 1 in it is pretty much impossible. Like, I had to scour eBay a bit to find it. When I tried looking for it, might be a bit easier right now, I'm not sure. But in the Hot Springs, I've been to like 5 different Barnes & Nobles, didn't see that series except for like once, and then lowest they had was volume 10, so I got it. Same with 2.5 dimensional, whatever. Same with I'm Quitting Hearing. Now, definitely feel like a few of these series I'm going to be getting rid of, because it would probably just be better. But then again, I like having my collection look as full as possible, and I'm in a situation right now where I don't really have to work for money, because I'm kind of still a child, so it definitely lets me collect more easily. I can kind of just buy a bunch and not have to worry too much around to pay bills or anything like that. Because obviously budgeting there's gonna be a lot of budgeting when you collect pretty much anything. Thankfully, when it comes to manga, there's not like a lot of expensive manga unless you're talking like box sets or like the Berserk omnibuses, however you pronounce that. The Berserk ones, those can be like $50 each, so kind of expensive, but you don't have to buy like that. You can always just buy in singles. Box sets can save you some, because I mean, they tend to have like what, 20 volumes around, and if it's like $10, maybe plus like $13 a volume, you're saving. They tend to be around 200 to 100 to 200 bucks, so probably saving a bit. But then again, it's more bit where it's kind of like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like kind of like a subscription. Like, it's initially expensive, but you kind of use it enough that you kind of make up for it, I guess. Something like that. I don't really know how to explain it. But, and then definitely something that you might want to try to stay away from is not starting at volume 1 for certain scenarios. Why is my light doing that? I don't know. For example, here with 7th Time Loop, I have a volume 4 of it, because that was the volume that was the earliest I found. And buying like volume 2s and stuff only, and not like buying the volume 1, can be a bit weird. But there are obviously exceptions. There's exceptions to everything. Like, something that you can do, which can help you a bit, is if you're watching a series and you like it, then buy the manga that picks up where the anime left off. That's what I did with Arifeta. It left off around like volume, I think, like up and look, like around volume 5 or so with the light novel. So that's what I bought, and I started reading from there. I do plan on buying the rest once I finish the series, but it does kind of look a bit weird now. I mean, I did somewhat the same with One Piece. Obviously, One Piece is at Egghead arc right now, but I did buy volume 1 because I was a bit more in the early phase of manga collecting, and then I got 91, which was where they start Wano. Wait, no, 90. Why is my... Pay attention to organizing. You might do mistakes like that and misorganize stuff, and I'm really bad at centering this camera correctly. Jeez. I really need to get a good camera and not use my phone. But anyway, ignore that little thing. Don't, like, panic buy. Don't just buy a series because someone, actually, I don't know what I was going at, really. Oh well. On to the next one, then probably go over that a bit later. Don't buy a bunch of stuff you don't want to finish. Again, do a bit of research on a series you want to get. Read the back of it. Flip through it a little. Google it if you have Wi-Fi, because my mom really sucks at keeping internet service in there. Try and, like, look into it a bit. Hence why I said, like, watching, like, those 12-episode animes, they tend to only adapt to, like, 5 or 6 volumes, and you can continue from there. Because I'm pretty sure, like, not even most, like, all animes, except for, I think, like, Vocaloid, is originally a manga, but then gets turned into an anime. Like with One Piece, Spy X Family, JJK, MHA, Attack on Titan, all of that originally started as a manga, or maybe a light novel for some series, then get turned into mangas. Most start around there. So you can definitely expect those to be a bit more finished, especially with more unknown series. Next point, don't be scared or feel like you have to only buy series that are popular. Because I know some people will be a bit toxic in this community and say that you have to do that. But you don't. You don't have to. You don't have to have Berserk. You don't have to have One Piece. You don't have to have Naruto. You don't have to have Dragon Ball. You don't have to have JJK. You can have whatever you want. You could own an entire collection of unknown manga that no one's ever heard of before if you wanted to. You could even just own a collection that's entirely One Piece if you wanted to. It doesn't matter. You are a person. You can do what you want. Mostly what you want. I mean, because people do like to gatekeep and just be snobs and toxic. So remember that we're looking. So another little thing is if you're new to this and looking for something like a series and looking recommendations, take them with a grain of salt. People put some interesting shows usually in there. Next is don't be so judgmental about it too, because if you don't like snobs, you also don't want to be one as well. Because it's kind of very ironic if you are one and you don't like them, then you probably just don't like yourself, which is understandable. But if someone doesn't have like a series you don't like let's say I have Food Wars in mine, like I have volume 1 and 2 right there. Like let's say you don't like Food Wars and you get mad over it. Don't be like some people are, because I know it might sound weird, but I've had some people who overreact. Who definitely, you can say, overreact a little when it comes to stuff. And just go back into my channel a bit about because you never know what side of the community you're gonna get on if you post something. Go back to my channel a bit, you'll find some sword videos that I posted about my katanas. One of them about this blue katana got a bunch of hate. Another one about this white katana, a lot of people left some pretty supportive comments under it. So it really can go either way. But hey, you kind of should expect that at least a little bit when you put something publicly online. Unless you didn't, then someone just sold you out there. But definitely, if you're starting and you have, especially if you have like bookshelves with really long shelves, or you don't mind, like if you don't mind them laying horizontally, then you might be a good idea to invest a little in like a bookstop or release something to put there, whether it be like a rock, BBs, a box, something. And you don't have to break the bank for stuff. If you find, like, you don't, and actually, no, I'll talk about it a bit later when I get into bootlegs and, like, figures and stuff. I'll talk about that part a bit later. But, that sword, I know that katana looks, not wakizashi, right? I know that one looks a bit weird because it was like a $20 one that I got at Goodwill, so ignore that. But, you do what you have to do sometimes. Don't think you have to buy something the same way everyone else does or anything like that. Because if you look at any video about someone's manga collection, you always notice they have Berserk and those big $50 omnibuses. Omnibus? I'm just calling them omnibuses because I think that's how they're pronounced. You don't have to get like that. You can get the singles if you want to. People just kind of like to buy them that way anyway. Same with series like Parasite. People like to get the hardcover variant. You don't have to if it's not available to you. A lot of these may sound a bit weird to some of y'all and a lot of y'all, hopefully. But I had a TikTok account that kind of got deleted when my phone broke, and I put some manga reviews there, and people were not too nice in the comments, to say the least. So, toxic and silence and just hateful people are everywhere. Be careful. Next up, keep track of your series, because when you get like a big series, look at my JJK right there. I have 16, 18, 19, 20. I went from 16, now I bought 19. Then I bought 20. I skipped 17 and 18, which made me very confused. I did not understand why they were instantly in the coin games. So you're gonna want to write them down, take photos. Something that a lot of people like to do is keep them in like a Google sheet of them, put like the series, and then put the volumes that you have there. That's a pretty good way of doing it. You could also maybe put them down like the Notes app, take photos before you leave, but then you have to take a new photo and delete one and take a new photo each time you get a single volume. So I think the Google Sheets version is a lot easier to do, because it's just a little bit of typing, just changing numbers around, and it can come in handy like it has for me a few times. Like I almost bought volume 19 of JJK again because I thought I'd have it for a second, but then I stopped myself. I was like, hey, I should look at my sheets real quick, and I found out that I already had it. Same with One Piece. I've almost bought the same series for that one, and some series I've kind of jumped around a bit on that are in another shelf. I've always bought multiple volumes of the same one before. Next is something that you definitely should do. Don't be a snob. No one likes you if you are one. And people who say you do are lying to you. Shut up. No one likes you. Snobs are just people who think everyone's rich, pretty much. If you've ever had, let's say you had like volume 1 of Demon Slayer, One Piece, and JoJo, like just volume 1s of them, nothing else. So I was like, oh, why do you only have volume 1s? Why don't you have the whole series? Like, not everyone can just go out and immediately buy the entire series of something. Like, another reason, like, as I mentioned, there are exceptions to everything, this could easily be an exception to the volume 1 thing about having a bunch of volume 1s. But you definitely do also want to budget good. So if you have, like, for example, you can buy 2 volumes and you see a series that doesn't really look that interesting, doesn't sound that good, but you could have the option to buy another volume of like a series that you really want, that you really like, and you already have another option that you don't want to change. Then get the one for the series that you like, and then look up or Google look up a review, maybe a little summary of the series that you were thinking about buying before you go back and buy it. And another thing, take reviews with a grain of salt. Because I've heard some reviews about series, I've heard recommendations from people, even if they aren't like as catfishy as some recommendations are, and I generally more seriously, people's taste vary a lot. That's why there's multiple different, that's why everyone has different favorite colors, different favorite foods, etc., etc. If everyone liked the same thing, there wouldn't be so much variety and stuff. Because some people may think Mob Psycho is the best series ever made, while some people may think it's One Piece. Some people may not think it's none of those. So just, like, my mind completely went blank there. I'm sorry about that. I've been talking for 24 minutes. I did not expect this video to be that long. Sometimes I surprise even myself. Next little bit of thing that I want to mention is if you are buying a series, just pay attention to whether or not it says side story, because like this volume of Goblin Slayer, it says side stories right there. I almost bought it thinking it was the first volume of the series, not realizing it said side series. And while other volumes like that Bleach one, that's actually volume 1. It's just the 20th anniversary edition, which is literally the exact same thing, just different cover, which can kind of throw you off a bit. At least I think it is. So pay attention to everything. So you want to pay attention pretty well. That's kind of like a general thing. Just pay attention. And remember, you do need to buy shelves if you don't have it or not like space, because if you don't tend to actively collect a bunch, then you don't really need that much space. But if you do, then you will need a lot more. Because like I said earlier, I was lucky to already have 2 shelves. But then I got this one. I'm planning on buying another one of those Billy bookshelves that everyone seems to talk about like in the community. So we'll see how good it is. And something that I've also seen is, don't really be worried too much to admit that you like light novels and manga, because I've seen a lot of people who really just don't like light novels at all. Like, all of these are all light novels, only these ones. And those are some light novels, and there's some in there, because I don't really mind reading a light novel for a series I like, but I know some people really do mind that. Again, also don't pay attention or worry, like if you like, and I know on my smartphone, a lot of people hate it. But hey, you like it, whatever. Alright? Some people might think your taste is bad, but maybe you just see it differently than everyone else. I mean, like, remember, some people like modern art, some people hate modern art. Some people may like a piece more than others. Same with, like, SAO is a really good example of this. SAO is somewhat popular. Same, like, Demon Slayer is also a really good example. A lot of people like and hate them. Some people on one side may be more vocal than others, but in the end, you don't have to be scared to say like, oh, I like this series. And I know it's easier said than sound, but hey, I mean, I like to bring these and read these in school, so you can tell I'm used to people saying like, screw you or stuff. Definitely in a bit more meaner way. But I know some people are closeted dweebs, and they don't really like to, you know, openly like wear merch or talk about their hobbies or anything like that. So hey, doesn't matter. I mean, I'm not that self-confident myself. It took me like forever to get myself to actually make this video, which will probably actually have to be in 2 parts, since this is 27 minutes long and almost at 28. So I'm kind of just running out of things here. Definitely gonna make another video probably pretty soon about the same thing, about for figures, since I kind of clicked this little too. And anyway, I'll sit here thinking about what to do. And if you have anything else you'd like to add, or anything you want me to answer or do or whatever, just leave it down in the comments below. It helps boost this video, get it to more people, tells YouTube you like it, and maybe watch some other videos or subscribe while you're at it, and I'll see you later. Adios, idiots.